So you'll have to click on, so once you click on your T1 or your transition line, you will get to a place where you can have this condition, right? So this is the field where you are going to give your condition. So let me say here, so let me give a true here directly. So we can use a variable such as integer and tell if it is less than 0 go to this, less than 5 go there, and all that whatever we have done yesterday. So we will see that. So currently let us just use true or false. So let me say do not go to final state, and here also do not go to state 2, just go to state 3. So from my state 1 I have set this to true, this to false, this to false, right? So next from this state 2 I have to tell to go to final state, right? So for that I have to click on true. Let's go back and click on this and say you have to give your true. So now if you see, I have my start, I'm going into state 1 and then going into state 2 because I have set this to true and this 2 to false, and then I have set this to true. So this will, the control from state 1 will go to state 2 and from state 2 will go to final state. So how will we know where is this control going? Inside each and every state we have put a message box, right? So then firstly my state message box 1 should come, which will tell I'm in state 1, and then it should go to state 2 and then should go to final state. So let us run this and see. So currently we are in state 1. So then we have went to state 2 and then to final state, right? So now let us change something. Instead of going to state 2, I'll set this also false and change something else to true. So now I do not want to go to state 2 or state 3, I directly want to go to my final state. So in that case I'll tell true. So I've changed this as false and this as true. So even though I have connections going to state 3 and state 2, these two gates block the control from going to this state or this state, and there is only one true or opening, that is your state 3, which is your final state, which has this true condition. So let us save and run this. So if you see, you are in your state 1 in the first place, state, correct? So now that we have used just a boolean value, and now let us go a step ahead and see how do we actually manage this control dynamically, right? So let me say I want to create a variable called go to state, which is a string, right? So this is a string variable I have created, and the scope is my final state, so which is going to my complete oh sorry, the scope was only final state, so I have to change this to complete state machine demo. So this will make the variable valid across this complete sequence whose name is state machine demo. So let me save this, and now so let me say in this case, let me say I will directly come to state 1, I know that, and then I want to take input from the user. I want user to tell the robot to go to which state, either state 1 into either state, you can either go to state 2, state 3 or final state, or you can again connect, okay, you can again connect this back to the same and give this condition as something else which will bring the control back to state 1 again, right? So first let us say when do we go to state 3 from state 1. So when your string variable is, when your go to state equals, so what is that? Let's say we want to go to state 3. Okay, so if this condition is satisfied, if my go to state is state 3, then my control should go to state 3. So here it should be final state. Go to state equals, let me say final state. And here I want to go to state 2, so it should be state 2. State 2. So let me save this. And now the other condition is it should go to state 1. So for this I have to say if my go to state equals state 1. Did I give the same things or did I change somewhere? Yep, state 3, final state, and then this is my state 2. Right, fine. My state 1, correct. So now I have my variable which is a string. So I want the user to select into which control, into which state the control should flow. So now I have given rules telling if the control, if this value is state 3, then go to state 3. If it is state 1, come back to state 1 again. If it is state final state, then go to final state. If it is state 2, then go to state 2. So now inside this, after this message box, let us use something which will take an input from the user. Just as how you have your input in your C language, so here you have input dialog box, right? So you can, so this will just give you your title. So let me say input, and now let me say oh, okay, clear. So this message, this input dialog box will help you to get information from the user. So let me say I'm telling the user to, hey, please. So here you can tell, please enter this state you want to go. But this is not really clear because okay. So let us use this for now. So let me save this, and whatever output or the input that I type into the message dialog box, that should go into my go to state, correct? So now let me save this and go back to state machine and run. So if you see, the first step is you are in state 1, okay, and then hey, please, oh, I forgot to type an enter. So let me say I want to go to state 3, right? I went to state 3. So let me first fix this message box. Please enter the state you want to go. Okay. And now, so let me say now currently I do not want my control to directly go to my final state. Instead of that, I also want the user to again ask at state 3 which state you want to go. Maybe you want to go back to state 1 or state 2 or final state. So if I want to go back to state 1, what am I supposed to do? Any idea how am I supposed to connect state 3 to state 1? You just have to drag and drop this. Just a small connection. Now go back here and say my go to state equals state 1, right? So now let me save, and in this state 3, when I'm in state 3, I also have to, okay, let me copy and paste that. All you have to do is use the same message box and ask the user state name where he wants. So this is going to ask him which way you want to go. So let's go back here and then connect this also to this, and then go to state equals state 1, yeah, and then go to my state 2. It's the same thing here and then use it. But in my final state, I don't think I have an option. I will have to end my process because that is a final state. So now let us run this and see what will happen. So earlier when you ran, you were only asked to enter once in your state 1, correct? Once you said you want to go to state 3, you directly went to state 3, and from there, since we gave this as true, always it will go directly to your state. So go to state equals final state. Yes, of course. Only in that case I want this to go to final state. So even here it is going to be the same. Instead of true, I will use this. And maybe the user will also from state 3 he directly wants to go to state 2, correct? So for that, oh, I lost it somewhere. Yes. So now here I'll tell my go to state equals state 2. So does this look confusing? I guess it really is, but I'm just showing you all the different ways that can be done. That it can you can use the state machines for, and why are they really important? So the other thing that maybe that will, let me print this also here. Yes. So now if you see from state 1, you can go to state 2, or where is this state? Sorry, this is state 3, this is state 2, or final state. So how is this decided? So it is decided when you double click on a transition, you will give a condition, correct? So now that we have put all this, let us run and see. So now you are currently in state 1. Let's give an OK. Please enter the state you want to go. So let me first say final state because you don't have anything more than that. So I said final state. In the final state, it has gone only into final state but not into any of these, correct? So let us run this again and try to give the same state name. So let me say state 1. In this case it should go back to state 1. So you can okay. So yes, I'm there again. So let me say I want to go to state 2 now. I'm in state 2. And then where do I want to go? I want to go to state final state now. In the final state, correct? So does this make sense? So any questions, or are you really confused with this? Do you have a buffer now? So let me just draw one more line or connect with another connection. Oh, it is clear. Okay, that's interesting. So let me say here my go-to state equals state 3. And also if you have any such technical problems, please let me know immediately. The moment you face them, just drop a text or you can unmute yourself and then you can just give me. Please tell me introduction of state machine at the end. Oh, yes. So it is okay. There is not really much. It is very similar to your flowcharts, additional functionalities, and as you can see, very complex projects can be very easily, connected or put them together, and all the loops could be done very easily instead of having all these really troublesome for each loops, while loops, and all. You can simply just connect things using these connections, which are similar to your drag and drops, and this will help you do this. So we are also missing the self connections here. So let us put that. Okay. Yeah, probably I'll tell that, but it is not really a big thing. So that is why I'm just saying. Okay, anyways, I'll do that. So go to state equals your state 2. So if your connection is state 2, so you will go back to state 2 again. In this case, also I'll tell my go-to meeting go-to state is So this is going to be a state 3. Oh, I have a couple of messages here. Okay, state 3 states. So you can import your states directly from here. So when you type on state, you will get two things. One is state machine, and the other one is your final state. So basically, so what have we done? We have made connections from each state to every other state that is available. So if you see from my state 3, I can go to my state 1. This is my transition T7. I can come back to same state, which is using T12, and then I can go back to my state 2 using my transition T10. And if you want to so that is how I've connected each and every state to every other state. So, but this is really easy and very comfortable because you take inputs from the user and you try to run this again. So let us run this now. And now you can play as much as you want until you give a final state. You can roam wherever you want in each states. So let me say I'm in state 1 and give my state 3. So from state 1 I'm going to state 3 now. Okay, in state 3, fine. So then I want to go to my state 2 in state 2. So next I want to go to my state 1. I'm going back. Yes, I'm in state 1. So let me give a state 1. Yes. State 3. Yes. State 2. Yes. And let us give a final state. You are in a final state. So is it clear how this state machine is helpful? It is not. So we have made the project look like that and make you understand how easy it is to even loop. So basically, many a times what we do is we will have one big flow. So let us consider the very common example, maybe something like you go to a mail and so only once you will have to download or get all the mails that are there. Once you have all the mails, then for each mail you have a specific process to do. So let me say if so the first condition would be like if this mail is from so and so mail id, then go and check for so and so words in your mail, or check if the mail attachment is there, and then download if the mail attachment is of this kind, then do this, if not do that. So basically it would be a very big process followed by one basic step of doing for one specific mail. So you have to do this across all the mails that are available in your mail. That what we do is we just take the states. So my first state usually would be getting all the information that is required. State will be something like checking all the conditions that are there, or different kind of mails, or what is the mail IDs, and the following states will do all the other kind of stuff like downloading mails and all. But once I do all this, I will have a case where I can go to my final state if that is the last mail that I have, or I'll have to go back and reiterate starting from my previous or the second state from where all this execution starts, right? So in those cases, you can do the same thing using a while loop or even a for each loop within a small sequence, but it is always suggested to have things in your states, because if you have any issue within one of these states, you always will have control either to go back to your final state or your previous state. So how do you know that if there is an error? So you have this exception handling, which are similar to your languages. So you can use that and capture all the exceptions that you have. And based on the type of exception, you can move to any state that you want. So if you see, you have that flexibility here. So if you are trying to put this inside a sequence, your activity fails or any of your exceptions that occur, that is going to break the complete loop. You cannot iterate back to your previous step and then execute that because you only have an exception. So probably you will get more intuition or understanding once we see the exception handling and the other looping statements that we do. So probably tomorrow, next class or post next class, we will see these looping statements. In that case, you will know why exactly are these state machines better than that. So for small iterations, we would not be using the state machines. So this would be so basically if I have a project plan to start with, I will always start with the state machine. So inside a state machine, whatever I want to do in the first step, I will put everything in my state one. Whatever I have to do post that on, so just consider if everything in my state one goes well, only in that case I have to go to my state two. If anything goes wrong with my state one, I have to go to my final state. In that case, I can simply have these two and check the condition for if everything is fine or is there a problem. Only if there is a problem, then come to your final state. And here you can tell if there is no problem, go to my state two. And after my state two, even if there is a problem or not, I can directly go to my final state if there are only three states. Yes. So seeing this more from a project perspective is important or helpful rather than looking it benefit. Okay. So let's go ahead and see a small scenario where we integrate all the things that we have used till now. So in first class, we have seen how do we automate a small calculator, right? And the next thing we have seen how do we automate your websites. And now the previous class, we have seen the sequences and flowcharts, which are very similar or very simple. And now we have seen state machine, which is very important. So now let us consider we have a small, POC project or a small petty project. So in this project, your task is to go to a website, get the price of a specific product which is not in Indian currency, and then convert it back to Indian currency using the conversion rate. So let me say I give you the dollar conversion amount. So let me say my dollar conversion amount for today is 75 rupees. Okay. So you find some product online, or maybe on Amazon.com or any other online website, maybe Alibaba or any other website or eBay. Then you have to convert that currency to Indian price and then show it back to the user. Probably that is your project or a small petty, tiny assignment. So how do we do it? So you can do it any. I can use a simple sequence. Say project underscore sequence. So here, if you see, I will have to, so for doing that, let me, so to open an application, instead of going and clicking on anything, I will give my open application activity, and this will directly open the application even if it is not on my taskbar or it is not on my start menus, local list or any of that things. So how is this open application advantageous compared to every other? So basically, if you want to open any application that is installed on your system, all you have to do is use this open application. Do not go and try to click on the start or send a hotkey of Windows and then type something like calculator and then pick the first result or click on this icon or any of that things. When if you want to open an application that is installed on your desktop, open application is the one that you have to look for. So just as I have told, if you want to open a browser, open browser is something that is integrated well with all the installed browsers that you have. It is good to use your open application. So how do you tell? Just click on or drag and drop this open application and open the application that you want to open and select that as your key object. So now this is going to open that. And then, okay, why am I doing this now? Okay, my first task is to open a browser, correct? So go and get an information. So let me go to browser. So this is my second step. No. Open app is not installed to calculator. It will take any application that is available on the screen. So let me say I want to open. Give me an application. Okay, alarms and clock. Okay, so this is a small application that is on my system, correct? So now I want to open that. So for that, what do? I click say indicate browser or put my selector on this icon. So when I click on this, if you see, it has changed from calculator to this specific application. So basically, open application is a generic or is a just a place where you can specify which tool to open. It is not specific to any specific application. Okay, so let's use this calculator. and minimize this. So let me say for now I want to go to Amazon.com. So let us get the price of any project, sorry, any product. Something like an iPhone X. Problem? Is everyone facing this problem? Are the others also facing this video latency problem? Oh my god. Okay. Looks like others also are facing. I'm not sure how can I resolve this because I have good network connection, speed and everything. Um, so okay, let's do one thing. So we will end the class today here, and I will take up extra time on Monday so that we'll cover whatever we are missing today. Is that fine?